Hi everybody. So this is our first day with a new story. So this week we are going to be writing a story about a time when you cried. And I thought that might be an easy topic for everybody to write about because I am sure that you can think about a time when you cried. And as I was thinking about it, I was trying to decide which time I wanted to write about. So I am sure your adult can help you think about a time if you can't think about one. So what we're going to talk about today is remember on the first day, Mrs. Pauline wants you to tell somebody your story in words. You're going to do that today once the video is over. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually write our story. We're going to start writing it in our storytelling words. Because when you're talking about your story, it's different than when we're writing it. So I know like a couple weeks ago, when I was writing this story about what I did on Thanksgiving, I would never tell my story out loud like this. I went in the van, we got to Grandma and Grandpa's, we ate dinner, we talked on the couch, we drove home. I was really late. It was really late and dark. That's not how I would talk, right? My storyteller words would sound like, we were really excited and we took my van and went over to Grandma and Grandpa's house, and then, do you hear my different words? And then we ate dinner with our entire family. But sometimes I might leave out those words, entire family, because that is a hard word to write, entire family. So instead, I just write, we ate dinner, right? It's easier to write those words, so I leave some of those good words out. And then I said, we talked on the couch. Instead of saying, after I said, we ate with the entire family, then we went to the living room and we all talked for a really long time. That's my storytelling voice. But instead I just said, we talked on the couch. So it's kind of boring, right? Then I said, we drove home. It was really late and dark. That's not very exciting either. Instead I say, we talked and talked on the couch, and then it got really late, and we drove home, and it was dark, and the kids were talking in the back seat, and I almost went the wrong way because I wasn't paying attention, or something like that, I might say. But when those words get hard, sometimes I change my story, and I end up writing the easy words. And you guys probably do that too. And so we're going to try to write our storytelling words in our writing this week. Okay? And it's going to be hard. I know I keep saying it's getting harder and harder, and it is. So those storytelling words are what we're going to try to write, because those words make our story more interesting for readers to read. Okay, so thinking about a time when you cried. So I was thinking about it, and there was a time when Mrs. Pauline was at school, and all of the kids were at maybe music class or art class, and I had to run outside and talk to another teacher on the playground. And I fell and broke my foot. Well, I knew I fell and I hurt my foot really bad. So I got into the classroom, and then I couldn't, once I made it to the classroom, I couldn't walk on it anymore. So I had to call my mom, and she had to come up to school and take me to the doctor. And I went to the doctor, and I found out that my foot was broke, and then I found out that I couldn't come back to school for a pretty long time. And I was so sad that I cried. So that is the story. That is what I decided I would tell you guys about. So when I say it in my storyteller voice, doesn't that kind of sound exciting to write about? But I don't want it to be boring when I put those words on paper. So I want to put those same words on my paper. So I need to think about what happened first. Where do I want to start my story? Do I want to start it at school? Do I want to start it at the doctor? Where do I want to start it? So I think if I don't start it at school, then you're not going to know, right? So I'm going to think about this page, and I'm going to see if it fits or if I'm going to end up needing more pages. So let's say if I put on this first page, if I put, one day I was outside and I hurt my foot, right? Then I went into the classroom and called my mom. She took me to the doctor, and I found out it was broke. And then the doctor told me that I couldn't come back to school, and that is when I started crying. I was so sad, and that is where I'll have to think about how I want to end my story, because that's what our story is supposed to be about, a time when I cried. So how do I want to end it? I still have a few more pages, so that seems like that will be a pretty good start to my story. I'll just have to decide how I want to end it. But what's going to be really important is that I add all of those really hard words, right? That I keep leaving out of my stories. I'm going to put those in there. And I might have to work a little bit harder to spell some of those hard words. But I'm going to try to do it. I know you guys can do it. You have all of those new tools that I gave you last week. You have your personal word wall that you're starting to create. You have your sight words that you're getting better at, and we're learning new words each week. You have your checklist that you're going to use at the very, very end of the week. You have your alphabet chart that's going to help you with all of your sounds. So, oh, and the one more thing that you have, your vowel chart. That looks like this. And you're going to make sure that one of these are in every word. So by using all of those things, we're going to put the hard words in there. We're going to put words like, and then this happened. And next this happened. And I'm going to start my story by one day. Because normally I would leave that out, because that might be kind of hard. So think about a time when you cried, and today your job is to tell an adult your story, like I just did, in your storyteller voice, and look at the pages, the blank pages, and make a plan, and then get started and work for 15 minutes. Somebody needs to set a timer for you. Maybe you'll get 1 page started. Maybe you'll get 3 pages started. Right? I'm not sure, but work for 15 minutes. That is your job today. All right. Good luck. I can't wait to hear your storyteller voice stories.